started out in reality TV just like me.
I did. That's one of my, well, it's wild when I think about that journey, and I'm sure you probably feel similarly. It's like I did that show when I was 18. I didn't know nothing about nothing, y'all.
Me neither.
And I wasn't really thinking about all the things that came with that. But I learned so much very quickly about the business of the business.
Yes.
And the first thing, or maybe the most important thing that I realized or had to learn was that rejection doesn't have to define you.
Give me 5.
You know? Like,
yes.
It doesn't, and it's so hard, especially when you're 18 and a lot of things are happening to you so quickly, and you don't know which way is up, but if you can learn to that reframe, it has changed my life. And it's like, I didn't need to win that show to be a successful person, and neither did you.
We did it, we did all right.
We did okay.
We did all right.
Mama, you have a talk show, honey. You're doing really good.
Thank you. You know what? I sit back and I think, I hopped on that roller coaster and it's been going ever since. And without that, I feel like everything prepares you for the next. You know what I mean? The setbacks, everything. And I always knew if I walk away with my talent, then nothing can stop me. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way about you. You know?
Yeah.
And it paves the way for so many others.
Totally.
Then you turned around and won an Oscar for West Side Story. You outdid yourself at that role. Oh my goodness, what was that like for you? And is that something you ever dreamt of doing?
You know, no.
I understand.
No, I think I always like loved movies growing up. Like, you know, I love music, I love dance. I was a dancer, I still am a dancer, but like that was my focus.
Yes.
And I don't know, I'm an ambitious person and I set like high goals for myself.
Yes.
But I didn't really see that one coming. And then you get to the moment, and like my mom was my date that night.
Oh.
Which was really fun.
I love
and
that.
a little overwhelming, not just for her, but for me too, because I was like, it's happening, what is going on?
Before you know it, you're thrown in the middle.
You're thrown in the middle, and everybody's looking at you, and I remember standing on stage and seeing them standing, like so many people I admire and all of the things, and it hit me like, you have to talk now, and you also need to remember you represent not just yourself, but like all the communities you belong to, and you're representing 60 years of legacy. So whatever you do, just be graceful. And I just became so grateful.
Yes.
Like I was just standing there in gratitude, shaking, sweating.
But that's all a part of the moment.
It's a part of the moment, and it really was something I'll never forget.
Well, you carry it so well.
Thank you.
It's so inspiring. I love watching your journey. You make it fun and sexy and just so joyful. I love that about you. You've hosted the Tony Awards 3 times?
Yes. Oh my gosh, can I tell you something really quick?
What you got?
Okay. So the first time I hosted, yes, I've hosted 3 times. I don't know why I do it every time because it's terrifying to me.
So you get scared?
Absolutely.
You don't look nervous at all.
Oh my God, I cannot even begin to describe. Every year there's been a moment of sheer panic where I lock myself in my room and I want to vomit. And then I have to reframe it. Yeah. It's constant reframing in the entertainment industry. But the first year I hosted, I mean, I never see anyone anyways, but I watched the playback of the opening number, and they cut to you during the applause, and you were looking at the screen while I'm like up there with my hands up like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yes.
And you were just like, she did it.
You did it.
And I will never forget that because you were just looking at me with support.
Yes.
And that's, I feel like the most beautiful gift you can give anyone is just like bearing witness and being of support. And so I've tried to bring that to every place I go as well. Like, thank you for that.
Well, thank you for what you do. I mean, we're both performers.
Yeah.
So as a performer, anytime someone is performing, I'm like, I want to give them that same energy back.
Love.
The encouragement, the love, because you put out so much. You know what I mean?
Well, and I don't think, audiences fully ever really get to see how much goes into it. The blood, sweat, and tears. It's not always about the fame. I don't like fame. I don't know about you.
Listen.
And I don't even really think I'm famous.
I don't either.
I don't. I love, not you, you're famous. You're famous.
You know what I always say? I couldn't possibly be this interested. Now, apparently you had a huge celebrity coming to you at the time. So who was it?
Oh, okay. So Angelina Jolie was, I know.
Shy?
She is one of the producers of The Outsiders, which is currently on Broadway, and it's an incredible show. Yes, so I served as a producer on the show, and I said to her, I was like, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to have you here as part of our show this season. She was like, no, thank you, you're up there. Then during the show, I'm standing center stage, and a lot of my work that evening happened from center stage, and I was by myself, and I was like, this is, ooh, let me pray. And I looked out, and she's sitting next to Holland Taylor, and she's like, you're doing great.
Oh.
And she was like, I love you, and I was like, I love you. And so for a host to receive support and love is everything.
It's everything.
You should know your knife so well you could cut blind. It's like, I think that's actually really good advice for kind of anything. You should just, again, you said you're a Virgo, you like to be prepared. Know whatever you're doing so well, you could do it blind.
It becomes part of the body.
It does.
Oh my goodness. And this is your first thriller?
It is. Like, I mean, I like to think of this film as like kind of a genre bend. It is from Blumhouse and Amazon, but Blumhouse traditionally is like very horror specific. Horror is normally not the name of my game, if I'm honest, but this story felt like there was so much wrapped into it. It's like there's a few scary moments, but it is very suspenseful, and it asks some interesting questions, and I loved playing a character that was ambitious, that is highly skilled, that is trying to do something on her own, and then is confronted with some of the toxic traits that perhaps she has learned along the way, because patriarchy is its own haunted house sometimes. And so for me, the underlayer of what is going on in this movie is entertaining if you like this sort of thing, which I hope you do.
Yes.
But it was like there was more going on for me, and honestly, it was a chance to just act. I don't sing in this movie, and I don't dance.
To show
either.
those chops, just act. I totally
act.
understand that.
And I was terrified because I was like, can I act?
Yes.
Like, I mean, I think every confident person has a moment where you're like, am I actually good at just the one thing?
But when you challenge yourself, that's when you can see and discover those things. That's how we grow. That is for sure. I love picking your brain. Okay, Ariana, I have to ask you, because what is your dream role?
My dream role? Traditionally, I don't really have an answer to that question. But I have like one of those things that I would just love to do, and I don't really care how much money you would offer to pay me to do it. Okay. I really want there to be a live action Hercules.
You and me both.
And
you gonna be a muse?
I really want to be.
I want to be a muse.
I want to be the dancing muse, and I want you to be like the lead muse.
I am Calliope. You are. Come on, girl.
Terpsichore.
We are the muses, goddesses of the arts and proclaimers of heroes. Don't get me started. Oh my goodness, I think that's it.
I mean, honestly, I would cut off my arm to do that with you. Okay. I just think it would be so, wow, the chopping, it's a theme for me right now. But like, I love the music, that score. It's what I listen to when I'm having a bad day, and I know I'm 33 years old, but you can't tell me nothing about the muses in Hercules. Like, look at them, come on. They're zero to hero.
Just like that. Boom. You roll that camera, I'm ready for my role. Listen.